And you know, we can't be passive. From my standpoint, we cannot be passive learners. We have to be active learners, right? I'm never going to take, if somebody walked through my door right now and said, well, da 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 about X, Y, and I'm like, oh, really? I'm going straight to the library.
Yeah. You're not going to check Twitter. You're not going to check Facebook.
Oh, no. And I tell my students, Google is not your friend. Google will get you in trouble, in fact.
Oh my gosh. I mean, research is important, and you keep coming back to that. And as an amazing history professor, and as a professor at TSU, we need to kind of encourage our students to critically think. And
yes,
I mean, we're preparing them for the future and being the leaders that we want them to be. Do you have any, final thoughts maybe on how can we take the amazing history that we have and kind of take what's going on now and kind of move it towards the future? Do you have any final thoughts on how does everything kind of flow together, especially tying in TSU with everything into the equation?
I would just go back to something that I said earlier about how our students are uniquely positioned in this space, right, that has really been a site for social justice, for social activism, and tapping into faculty that we have here, tapping into our leaders and asking those hard questions and really engaging, right, with the issues that we are confronted with today. To me, that's the only way that we're going to sort of see this systematic change happen. And just do your research.
Right.
Do your research.
Take a history class.
Major in history, in fact. Do your research. Do not be a passive learner. Be an active learner. And also we need to be thinking critically about these issues and like, why is all of this stuff happening like right now, right? I don't believe that it's any coincidence that we have this pandemic going on, that we have elections coming up, they're right around the corner, right? There seems to be this uptick in racial violence, but I would say that has always been there, right? So just like understand what is happening, what's going on, and try not to be disillusioned or dismayed about all of these things that are happening and become distracted, because a lot of times we can become distracted by all of this stuff that's going on and take our eyes off of what our goal is, right? And for me, the goal is social equality. It's social justice for everyone, but especially right now for Black and Brown people, because that is the group that we are seeing proportionately, right, being brutalized and being victims of racial violence, racial hate.
Right. No, I completely agree. I feel like it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to feel it and get impacted by it. But I think Black and Brown people especially, we have that unfortunate but unique ability, because from day one, we've always carried that on our shoulders, everything from our ancestral history to our current situations, everything going on. But we still move forward. And I think we have to realize that we have that unique ability to carry all that, process it, feel angry, feel depressed, but we still have to go day-to-day lives because there's no other choice in a way.
There is, and sometimes I don't think that other groups really recognize that and really understand that, and it gets mislabeled. I know you said you had one more that was like supposed to be last, but since
No, it's fine. No, please.
it gets mislabeled. And so you get the angry Black woman, or the hostile Black and brown man, and no, that's not what it is. Like, there's some trauma that we're dealing with.
Oh yeah.
And you need to recognize that there is trauma that we are dealing with, right? And sometimes I don't necessarily believe that as a group we necessarily deal well with our trauma, right? Because there is this expectation that you're going to soldier on. Well, can I get a minute to grieve?
Right. Center myself. Like, yes.
Right, because I am human.
Mm-hmm.
I do have feelings, right? And because we've sort of been dealt this steady diet, well, you're not human. You're something else. You're something, and so I'm surprised more people have not, had a diagnosis of PTSD, because this is it's very traumatic. It's very traumatic. And we're dealing with years and years of trauma.
Oh yeah.
That we have not fully been able to deal with, to reconcile with, to reckon with, and constantly being told, no, that's not what's happening. No, that's not. Yeah, that is what's happening.
Right. Yeah, it is, and that's why we keep fighting it. That's why it's still going on.
Right.
I think I just wanted to add one more thing, because I know we keep talking, but going back to your other point about just being knowledgeable and getting and being patient and whatnot. I also feel like it's also important to connect, especially nowadays when everyone's so disconnected with all the connectiveness of technology. Connect with your community.
Yes.
So as we talk about voting at a local level, connect with the community around you. It can be the one back home where you're from if you're not local, or make Third Ward your home. Like, connect with the community. Like, there's such a rich history around us that you want to be a part of it, like Emancipation Park. Yeah. There's an organization there. There's Alra Radio, Project Row Houses. Like, there's all these nonprofits that are in the area that are trying to make effective change and really celebrate Black culture, African culture, and and tackling social justice issues. It's just important to kind of connect. Right. I mean, not everything is on a Twitter handle. You want to kind of connect with the communities around, and also the organizations and the activities that we would have at TSU as well.
Exactly. And I just think that, that's just important in general. I've met a lot of people. I've lived in Houston for a long time. I won't say how long, because then you'll know how old I am. I've lived here a long time, and I was sort of surprised to learn that there were people who had lived in Houston their whole life that didn't know anything about Houston. And for me, when I moved here, I had to know this city, right? And so I made it a point to go to different neighborhoods and figure out what was happening and being a part of it. And so even like today, my friends will tease me because I tend to not drive on the freeway, and I'll drive like through neighborhoods because I want to know like what's going on. I want to see what's happening in the neighborhood. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to talk to people. And so a lot of my friends are like, you know what? There's something wrong with you. But no, that's how I feel like I stay connected to what's happening. And I know like what's happening in Fourth Ward and what's happening on the North Side and what's happening in Sunnyside. And you have to do that. You have to do that because we are so spread out, right?
We are. We are. Yeah. Houston's a huge city.
It is.
But it's amazing to have this conversation with you.
It was very nice.
Wealth of knowledge. This is Professor Tomiko Meeks. Y'all take her class for sure. And any and every class in the history department and anything in collabs pretty much, right? But, and we want you to really connect with your HBCU during this time. I mean, the history's there, it speaks for itself, but we want you to make even more history with the university as well, because we don't shy away from social justice issues because we were created through it. So, and we are in the heart and soul of Third Ward and the heart and soul of Houston. We are not Midtown. We are Third Ward.
We are Third Ward. We are Third Ward proud.
Yes. Professor Meeks, this has been lovely. I would love to chat with you more on different issues like this. I mean, the whole issue of Midtown and Third Ward. Let's talk about gentrification. Let's talk about anything and everything else.
Yeah.
So, but thank you so much for your time. And if anybody has any questions, is there a way to reach you for?
Yes, I can give you my email address.
Okay.
It's tomiko.meeks at tsu.edu, and that's TOMIKO.MEEKS at TXSU.edu.
Bam. And remember to use all your resources available to you on our campus. We have our amazing counseling center. Don't hesitate to reach out and to your support systems. ODEI is here all day, every day at ODEI TXSU on all social media platforms. And again, thank you, Professor Meeks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.